Hey there, it's Michelle, and guess what? It is day number 30 of my preparatory month of Leader of One. I'm coming to you live a little earlier because today is also New Year's Eve and I got some things to do, people to see. So I wanted to make sure that I did this last one of this month and brought it on home. So much so that I have been pulling the midnight oil, working on projects and everything. And so today I want to talk about finish energy. Finish energy. So one of the things that I have learned in recent times and years, as I continue to do these types of things, is the energy. I guess if we have to look at it so it doesn't woo people out, the tone and the mood of what you're doing. The tone and the mood of starting is way different than the tone and the mood of finishing. And finish energy is important. Finish energy is not just strong energy. Finish energy is recognizing if there are any kind of residual guilts or even sabotages that will try to come. You'll be amazed at, if you just go back through, the average person, if you just go back through and look at a lot of things you endeavored to do and you got really close and then something happened that just threw you off and you never finished. Y'all, there is a finish energy that is totally different than anything else. And even if you don't feel like you're finishing up something, when you have given your word, when you have planned it out and scheduled it, it's still binding. It's still out there. And so, yes, we want to finish strong, but we want to finish smart too. Not smart, smart as well. And to finish smart, that is to be aware of what it means to bring something to a completion, to a close, or to a zenith of this is where this ends. Think about when you have when you were a kid or in school and you graduated to different classes, and at the last day of school or the last day of meeting or whatever it was, even though you were happy, even though that was what you had been working for that whole school year, it still had a bittersweetness to it. You weren't guaranteed to see the same people. You weren't guaranteed to encounter the same events or even lessons. And so there is a weird kind of finishing energy when you're wrapping up something that I want to be mindful of, respectful of, and for you to do it as well. When we endeavor to change anything, it's kind of like you are working like a Michelangelo with a piece of fine, exquisite, but hardened marble. And think about, and I don't know if this was the case or whatever. I do know the challenge that was given to Michelangelo when he decided to carve David out of that stone was that the stone was a prized piece that had been quarried and someone else had messed it up. They had placed something and it was basically unusable. And so they gave this challenge to Michael to be able to carve something that would be worthy of the brilliance of that city or that town at the time. I think it was Venice, I'm not sure. And so he set about carving out David. And now I do know this part, that they said that as he would carve out things, that David started to call to him from within. And I can just imagine that he has been chipping away and the process of getting down to the general form has occurred. And then he's been chipping and polishing away. And now the slopes, the circles, the spirals, the geometric, sacred geometry is starting to emerge in the symmetry and beauty, I've used that word too many times, of David. And then I can imagine him looking at how he has to position David because David is on a precarious perch because of the way the stone was handed off to him. And I can imagine him getting to the point where others are like, "Ooh, it looks like it's finished. Master Michelangelo, is it finished? Is it finished?" There's outside pressure because people can see his assistants and trainees and apprentices can see that it's almost finished. But not even that. Think about what it feels like to know you're coming to the close with having birthed this immortal piece of crystallized imagery of life, and every peck, every toss, every pick of the chisel could either mean perfection or it could mean disaster. Think about that. And even if it's not that, think about also how Michelangelo had to toil and work with this piece to bring forth this brilliance, and what it meant to be finished, to be coming to the end of it, to now take what was his birthing and release it unto the world. I talked about losing attachments, and I talked about that knowing that I was going to be dealing with this. When I work with groups and things and help to facilitate people being able to do things, and we talk about separation anxiety, usually around this time of closure, of ending. We talk about separation anxiety, abandonment, attachments. We talk about flight and fight. Those two primal reptilian brain urges come up really hard. So when I was talking about have you ever gotten very close to the end of something and just never finished it, that might be your body's way of preserving the memories and the thoughts of that time. I know so many people that tell me, "Oh, if I had only done this, or if I had only finished that," or whatever. And they have these regrets. And what I want to say is that beware. Now that you know, do better. Beware that finishing energy is a different monster than all the hell you go through while you're doing it. It can sometimes rival all of the resistance and the opposition and the crisis, conflict and tension that happens while you're in the midst of the project. That doggone finishing energy, it can knock you out. It can put you down for the count. Right when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, that shark comes up and takes a bite out of you that can sideline you. So I want all of us to be aware of that now. I mean, I'm actually taking my victory lap because I'm like, okay, I'm finished. I'm gonna take a break, have some fun, and then next year, tomorrow. Well, actually, I'm gonna take tomorrow. Next year is a new project. But I wrote down some things. So I would be remiss if I didn't write down a few things, because this is not just about me. This is about us and we. Okay, so with regards to that finishing energy, these are some things that I'm mindful of and that I'm taking my own advice on. And that is to nullify, not even if you can't nullify it, but to lessen the impact of what it means to be coming to the end of something. And I want to say this too. You say, "Well, Michelle, what if I didn't finish what I was working on?" There's still energy in that you said you were going to finish it around this time. And you still have to contend with that, because in the back of your subconscious, remember what gets scheduled gets implanted, what you work on gets ingrained. So you still need to be aware of that. And because of that, and because I know how the brain works with all these open loops, and how you can think you're okay and you're working on depleted energy because you haven't closed everything up. You haven't dropped the other shoe, per se. This one is for you. And that is, I want you to fail spectacularly. Have you ever watched a game? It's the end of the quarter, or no, it's the end of the game. and they throw the ball or they try to alley-oop it, Hail Mary or whatever, that is called failing spectacularly. Giving that last little oomph at the end, when you release that last little oomph, you say, this is my finishing shot. Whatever happens after this, so let it be. But you still get a kind of closure. So I want us to remember, even if you didn't finish spectacularly. Throw your alley-oop, throw your Hail Mary, okay? You never know. You might get it. The next one is send the right signals. And when I say send the right signals, this one, I have to always be diligent to remind myself, and I want you, please, if you make it to this part of this video, I want you to write this down. Send the right signals. The worst thing you can ever do is to have gone through a described and predetermined time only to nullify or to weaken your intention of what you wanted to do. Whether you finish or not, take your victory lap that you made it to this day and send the right signal to your future self that I get stuff done. And not only that I get stuff done, I am consistent and committed to my word. And you know, hey, this is practice. That's why I call this preparatory month. I'm pretty sure if you did this with me, and even whenever you're watching these, if you didn't make it, it's okay. But send that right signal, because intention, and I I'm not going with woo-woo and all that kind of stuff. I'm going with what we know from how the brain up here and the brain in the gut works. And there is something about when you send certain feelings and emotions, they have electrical charges to them. And when you send the right signals of gratitude to having made it to this moment, thankfulness for what you did get done, happiness that you're at this point, confidence that you've done something or you're doing something, everything in you takes note. I've said this not on this series, but I've said that I love The Alchemist, the book. And I love it when they get to the point where he tells the young man, Melchizedek tells the young man, when your heart aligns with the universal desire that's for you, that same universe will conspire to bring it to you. And so when you send the right signal, that's what you're doing. Now, that's an eloquent way of seeing it. In the biological way of seeing it, we now know, because of the neuroplasticity, what that fancy word simply means is our mind is still able to be shaped, changed, and grow. No, it doesn't stop. It keeps going. The more you use it, I don't care if you're 150, it's still going to change. What it means is we have found that when you make a decision, your vagus nerve in your gut, that brain down in your gut area, prepares your body with neuroelectrons and hormones to give you the oomph to get up and to get going and to propel forward. We also know little things like when you get grateful and happy, it triggers a cleansing, a reset. It actually expands the cellular walls to be able to take in more oxygen so that you can be more alert and ready to grasp and interact and truly be able to have a broader expanse and experience. Isn't it something when you're happy, or for some of us, when you're in love, the days seem brighter, food tastes better, and all of this kind of stuff, as opposed to when you're sad or defeated? Send the right signal. It works, and it sets you up for the next project. So what if you didn't finish this one? Guess what? You can finish it the next go round. And when you send a message and an intention of gratitude, thankfulness, confidence in yourself, and being able to understand that you're not the same person that you were 30 days ago, that you are better for having gone through this experience, and you're appreciative of what you've picked up along the way, heaven and earth will conspire to bring it to you. And so the next thing I want to say is this, and that is just always remember, structure and a simple, clear way of doing what you're going to do is the key. So when I talk about finish energy, I want you to understand that it's a different energy. It's a different animal than anything else. And it has tricks. Oh, it has tricks and jokes and traps and all of these things to mix you up. Right when you're almost at the finish line is when you can trip, stumble, and fall. Right when you're almost at your goal is when a case of apathy can come over you. You know, for me, it used to be I would almost be finished and then I just wouldn't want to do it anymore. Passion gone. Oh, okay, I see what this is about. I'm good at it. Okay. And not finished. What kind of cuckoo-ness is that? But you know what I found out? That at least 1 in 4 people on this earth are like me. That's why I don't care about passion. If you are a person that knows your passion, good for you. That ain't me. I work and the passion shows up. I don't work because there's a passion. I work and I complete. And so I want you to understand that this finish energy, is different. Don't let it trip you up. And so some of the things, recapping, that I wanted to give you that has helped me and will continue to help me so that I finish what I start, is to make sure that you fail spectacularly. In the midst of your failures, you're going to find success has been encapsulated by those failures. And when I say fail spectacularly, what I mean is uninhibited, unencumbered by your thoughts of what other people might think of you or what you even think you can do. That's why I talk about the Hail Mary at the end of the game. Throw it up there. If it goes in, it goes in, but it would have never gone in if you didn't try it. Try it. You will amaze and astound yourself at what you're able to do. And then the next thing I've talked about is send the right signals. Set a fertile ground for great seed to be planted for your next endeavor. And if you hadn't finished this one, guess what? When you have this, okay, this one is finished. We're going to start again. There is something about a reset. When you have planted good seed of good intention, gratefulness, thankfulness, the lessons you have learned, the confidence you've gained, the ways you have changed, it sets it up for it to be easier. And then the last one that I said, and this is not, all inclusive. These are just the top 3 to help you to grasp and get the best of what you can from finishing this thing. That is, I want you to know that you need to have structure and a simple, clear way of what you're doing and why you're doing it and to finish it. So don't get waylaid. Don't get tripped up at the end. Don't get tricked into not finishing what you started. Because I'm telling you, when your heart's desire lines up with that of the universe, meaning that which you said you were going to do, that which you worked on and put investment in, when you line up with that, not only are you working for it, but things seen and unseen start to fall in place for it to happen for you. I've got neurobiological, and anatomy, biology to back me up on this. So this isn't just Google. And this has been a blessing. Now, what's next for me? I am going to be continuing on. You'll possibly see things from me next month. But each month I have already mapped out what I'm working on and what I'm doing for the whole year. And so stick around. And if this is your first time and you want to go through how to prepare yourself to be able to have a powerful, I mean, when I say powerful, I mean life-changing growth, magnitude experience. Start with video number 1, day 1, and just work your way through. All right. So guess what? This was it. I'm not gonna see you tomorrow. Now, of course, I'll be coming back periodically with my new endeavor. But thank you all so much for being here with me. Thank you for those who are in the group, who were going along with me. If you're just starting, let me know. And just know that if you still want to be in the group, get in the group, and I'll be doing periodic check-ins and let you guys know what I'm going through and all that kind of stuff. It's top priority. All right, so I am going to, I'll see you around. How about that? I'll see you around. Thank y'all so much. Bye.